Right. Nice. Yeah. Come on, guys. Yeah, that's true. As as every good CPG founder has, a construction company is kind of that perfect adjacent business. Absolutely. We should all have a construction company. Yeah. No. It will save you a lot of money. It just might. I'm going to do it. You should too. Right. Like we do. Right. To run your life. No way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. No way. Yeah. That's crazy. If it works for him. Yeah. That's true. That's right. To make sure you knew. Yeah. It really was. Yeah, your weather's in my backyard right now. God help me. Yeah. Literally like the movie. Yeah, it's been insane. Okay, so yeah. So day one, we get 3 inches of snow, maybe four, and it's fun. Everyone's outside. People are sledding. I went out and played in the snow for a day. People were literally canoeing down the street at Schulman's. They were sledding down the hill at downtown. People were literally doing pop-up DJ parties outside in the snow. I'm not kidding you. Like there was multiple pop-up DJ events that happened all over the city with the snow, which is just the most natural thing. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there. I was literally there. I was at Schulman's Bar. Yeah. Like me and my roommate were walking back from NoCo. Like we walked a mile and a half to NoCo to get dinner, and then we're walking back, and people are canoeing down the street at Schulman's. It was the best. It was so much fun. It was, yeah. I almost canoed. Yeah. I almost canoed, but I had done so much sledding by that point in the day. I was so tired that I just didn't have like it in me. But it looked like a blast. You know, everyone was having fun. And I made a connection to sell more empanadas wholesale because the girl that was managing the sledding runs a company called In Good Company. They're like a local brand pantry. She was like, "We should carry your empanadas," and I was like, "That's great." So that was cool. Having fun. Yeah, just a great day. Yeah. Yeah, then day two comes, and we look outside after the overnight, and everything is covered in about a quarter to a half inch of ice. Every tree, every piece of roadway, everything. Our cars. Um, and what was weird though is that it iced on top of the snow. So you have 3 inches of snow and then a quarter to a half inch of ice over top of that. If you were like on the road, it was like the ice was floating on the snow, but then the snow melted and it all froze into one big layer, and now you have like that much ice on the road. So it was kind of scary. And then you started to hear trees pop like a lot. It sounded like gunshots going off. I mean, just trees snapping everywhere. They were blocking roads, taking down power lines. My ex truck manager Z had a tree fall down, pierce her roof. She has a branch literally sticking through the ceiling in her living room, and she lost power. So they're running their fireplace with a skylight basically in their living room. It was freaking insane. I was lucky I never lost power, but literally, oh yeah, yeah. That was probably the coolest thing about all this is Nashville is really good about coming together and like helping each other out anytime something like this happens. So like everyone took someone in for the most part. You know, if you had power, you took someone in. I took in two different people over the course of the week. Um, yeah, my roommate's buddy and then my brother Isaac. My brother Isaac was out there like salting all the parking lots and stuff. So he was busy the whole time. And then I get a call pretty early from Chef Julio over at Maíz de la Vida saying that World Central Kitchens needs more chefs. And he, knew we could pivot quickly just because of the way we operate. And so yeah, like the next day, literally the next morning, we're trying to figure out how to deploy 500 meals. Um, okay, World Central Kitchens is a organization founded by Chef Jose Andres. He's a big time Spanish celebrity chef, phenomenal guy, one of the best humans on earth. And it's his organization. What they do is they come into disaster zones and they mobilize existing chefs who are already in the community, restaurants, food trucks, etc. And they give them logistical support, resources, and subsidy to go out and deploy meals in these communities where there is a lack of power, food, whatever. So during the tornadoes that came through a couple years ago during COVID, they were deployed. They were out here serving. They're usually one of the first people on site. They quite literally have special forces on their team. This is not a joke. I've met these guys that are trained to go in and like carve paths, to be first in when roadways are blocked and stuff. So you'll have people with huge pickup trucks and chainsaws cutting paths into disaster zones so that World Central can go in and operate. It's super cool. Oh no, it's a global organization. Global, man. They are huge. And because they are global, they have a tremendous donor base and they have tremendous resources. So the way it worked with us is that they basically subsidized $10 a meal for every meal that we would go out and serve. It had to meet certain nutritional requirements because they want to make sure people are getting good food, right? So it has to be like a main, a side, veggie, fruit, water. Like there's a certain set of metrics you have to hit for these meals that get deployed out there. The other thing they're really good at, and I think this is kind of underappreciated, is they have great connections into the press, right? And what this does is it keeps awareness up for things like this. And what that means is more donor dollars flowing in, which allows them to keep operating, right? So by day three, they had like three different news organizations covering us. So we had like, I was in the kitchen, like putting meals together with the mic pack on, and then a CBS anchor, or not anchor, but like a field correspondent is out there like interviewing me as I'm boxing up these meals. They cover the whole story and it makes the evening news. And it was crazy because I get multiple cold DMs and emails for people who saw the broadcast and asking to donate. And it was insane. So like we probably got $300 or $400 in just cold donations from people that were like, I want to help. You guys are awesome. I love what you're doing. And I explained to them, I was like, World Central Kitchens is subsidizing our efforts. We're not doing this for free. Like, I don't care. I want to help anyway. It gets even crazier. We go to fill up our propane tank on the pizza truck, and they saw us on the news, and they were like, "Hey, weren't you guys out there surfing?" Like, yeah, we're about to go do it again today. They're like, "Propane's on us today," so they fill our propane for free. Yeah, and it gets even crazier. The guy who lent me, or sorry, not lent me, leased me the space back in 2017, 18, something like that, to paint our first food truck, is now a high-powered lobbyist in Nashville. And he saw the broadcast, and he was like, "Hey," he texted me afterward the next day. He's like, "Hey, I saw the broadcast. Are you at all connected to people that can help us financially support food trucks going out and serving?" I was like, "I got you." Connected him with a buddy, BJ, who's been organizing trucks for years and years, and we partnered with us and Second Harvest Food Bank to go out and set up mobile pantry and like 10 trucks serving along with at the farmers market. And so yeah, different like Ryman Hospitality in the Nashville Visitors Convention Center cut checks for every truck serving that day, and then again the next day. Um, so yeah, just a lot of tremendously good things came out of like what World Central does, because it's not just that initial like getting out there and serving. That those second and third order effects of what they really, one of their things they shine at is the PR part, really created like this like snowball effect of goodwill that helped us do more and more that I could have never predicted. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's like if one person steps out, it was really crazy. Like one person steps out, and there's people out there that want to make a difference. They just don't know what's the highest impact I can make, right? So like you've got people with the dollars out there that are ready to deploy it at really any time. Like there are people out there with plenty of money, and they want to do it, but they want to make sure it's helping, right? They want to be sure that it's actually making a difference. And when they see coverage of people like actually making an impact, people that like our first set of meals was at one of these low income housing developments, and these people have had having power for like multiple days at this point. Some of these people hadn't eaten in 2 or 3 days. Like they literally had not had a meal in 2 or 3 days. It was so slick they couldn't even walk up to the truck to get the food. Like we had to have runners for some of these, like the elderly, right? Like take the meal from the truck, bring it to their doorstep, right? Some of the families, like there's like, "Hey, I've got two kids at home, can I get four meals?" I'm like, absolutely you can. I'm not even questioning at this point. I'm just handing you food, right? Like you are the one in need. I've got 500 meals here. I want to give you this food. I'm not worried about numbers. Like just tell me what you need, I'm going to give it to you. Yeah, like we probably fed four different neighborhoods, maybe five. The last one I did, which was on Sunday, I could almost not get out of that neighborhood because there were so many downed power lines that I was trying to dodge with the food truck. Like I literally was trying to like figure out what path of roads can I get? Like there was roads that were just like caution taped off. Like police had come and just like don't go down this road, and you look, it's like just trees. Like the whole road is just blocked. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Single digits or teens. Yeah, part of the problem was that for the first couple of days, the roads were basically undrivable until they got them properly plowed or salted, and you had warm shelters, right? Places that had power that people, but the problem is they couldn't get to them. So it was like you've got places like the fairgrounds where it's like the Office of Emergency Management has set up a warm shelter for people to come out there and stay warm. And usually there's meals deployed there by somebody, World Cross, Mercy Chefs, World Central Kitchens, uh, somebody out there feeding. So they're getting fed, they're staying warm. There's bathrooms there, right? Literally, I saw fire department, cops, just multiple emergency vehicles coming and just dropping people off because people couldn't physically get to the warm shelters from their house. They needed literally somebody to come pick them up just to get them to these places. Um, this was definitely it's strange because the acuity was bad. Like the long term effects, we'll be back pretty quick, right? I mean, you chop up the trees, you chip them, and you restore power. Yes, power taking way longer to restore. Right. But yeah, and there's definitely talk already of um mismanagement at the National Electric Service at the highest level. Like they're talking, you know, CEO. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With no power. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. Right? Yeah, yeah. Give me a sec. I might be in the wrong booth. Just a second. Am I in the booth three or yeah, because I've got it till 11. That's weird. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, false alarm. I've booked this till 11. So I don't know what's up. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mm, right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Ho 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 ho. Oh ho ho. So generous. Right, same. I don't know what to tell you, man. Right. Yeah. Right. You know what's funny that you mentioned that? It's funny you mentioned that because Mayor Freddie put out a press release, I think yesterday or the day before, essentially saying, you're not going to believe this, essentially saying exactly what you said, which is NES has sucked at communication to the point where it's become an actual um, safety issue. So basically, what he said was they, when they communicated their emergency or disaster readiness to the city, we were under the impression that they were ready to go. But they didn't communicate their own preparedness to the city well enough. So when they came time to actually deploy in an actual disaster situation, they weren't able to execute. And so this, to be fair, this is damage control on Mayor Freddy's part because he's trying to make sure that he doesn't get pinned with this in the next election. Sure. Yep. It goes both ways. Right. There's a war in Ukraine we forgot to tell you about. Right. 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 Yeah. It does. It does. It is. It's not new. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Send us your homing pigeon with your message and your phone number. Yeah. You can't get power, man. You're fucked. Right. Be told. It's nothing you can do. You're screwed. Yeah. This is so much money. Yeah. That's catastrophic. Yeah, they were slightly less fucked than they are now. Yep. Yep. And they're living like, and it's not like they're 200K like living high on the hog. It's 200K living like very sensibly, and they're paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's fair. All over the map. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 Gig work is a gig work is definitely a way a lot of them have to, fight to make ends meet, and it's just so brutal to try to like make any money doing any of those things. We did. Yes. Well, nutcase? Yeah, yeah. Nice. Mm, mm. Dental insurance is a scam regardless. Absolutely. It's true, especially when it comes to dental. Sure. Unless you have a catastrophic event and there isn't insurance built now that handles catastrophic events exclusively, which is probably the way it should have been structured from day one. Yeah. Right? It was too expensive. Yeah. Yeah. I think I canceled mine too. Actual, right. Actual expenses. Yeah. Right. Just pay it. Hmm. Yep. You're not. You're not. Seating a grill? Yeah, yeah. He should get grills. He looks sick. Keep going. Keep going. Right. Yep. Oh man. No, it wouldn't. No. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. Which is a fair ask if it's a cash, pay. Right. With interest, which makes it more expensive. Yeah. A lot of what's happening. Right. Is no, of course not. Right. It is insane. They can't. No. Yeah. Right. So you're gonna find a way. Right. It's fucked. Yeah. Just gonna bend over here. Yeah. Oh, dude. I think I think part of the problem was happening in dental. It's happening across many other industries, and that is a lot of private practices are getting PE rolled up, right? And in order to finance these roll ups, they're increasing the pricing. And I'm, for the most part, pretty pro private equity. Like, to be honest, I just think that LBOs and like the unfair advantage that they have to basically load up businesses' balance sheets with debt um, is insane. Yeah. Yep. Which is perfect. It is. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's very little competition. Yeah. 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 HCA, baby. HCA owns the rest. I don't think they do. They do. Yeah. My dad has a funny joke about Vandy because he worked there for like 2 decades, and that is, I don't know. The joke my dad always made. Yeah. Oh yeah. Said Vanderbilt is not for profit. But they're not against it either. So what happens is they charge, premium rates, and then they plow it into research, which is admirable. Um, but the pricing is elite. Like it's not cheap. Yeah. Yeah. They are. Yeah. Oh, utilities. Well, back to the whole Nashville Electric Service being incompetent. Middle Tennessee Electric Cooperative, MTE, MC, whatever, which is like I think a lot of the broader mid-state area. They had way more linemen ready to go. They were prepared, and they got power restored like that across a huge chunk of territory. And the difference is that they're a member-owned cooperative, right? So their leadership is voted in by the thousands and thousands of members that are part of the cooperative, which means that competent people get voted into the leadership, whereas NES is a for-profit private utility. Mm-hmm. It really is. Yeah, yeah. I think really that's the difference right there is that there's actually a transparent accountability structure in MTEMC, whereas in NES, I don't know how people get in power there, but I'm sure it's not that way. Yeah, yeah, because they're the only game in town. They have to. It's a utility. Yeah, right. Right, right. Yeah, they're so essential to the functioning of the general population and the community, like the fire department, that we subsidize them. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Right, 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 right. It is. Right. Hmm. It doesn't exist. Yep. Hmm. Yep. Yep. Hmm. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Lobbyism run amok, administrative bloat, bureaucracy. Yeah. Yeah. I asked ChatGPT about like where would we cut costs in the healthcare system? Like where's the waste, right? And basically it said that much of it is in the billing and coding administration. So essentially we've created a system that is so incredibly opaque and complex that in order to properly administer it, we need an army of billers, coders, and bureaucrats essentially, and they just eat up all this cost, trillions, literally trillions of dollars in cost that could be stripped away and the service would not change. The healthcare would be the same, right? It's just that we've created this insane meta structure over top of it. I don't know what the opposite of meta over top, but meta's underneath. I know that, but you know what I mean. There's very little incentive. Yeah, 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 right. Housing. There's a difference. Right, 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 right. Yeah, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it is in many places in Europe. And guess what? It doesn't cost nearly as much. Hmm. Market. Right. It's insane. The fact that student loan asset backed securities exist, slabs, like that's insane. That should not exist. Like securitization of student loans. Right. Right. It's the best. You're getting your money. Yeah, exactly. He won a math competition in China. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Ever heard of a synthetic CDO? Ooh, synthetic CDOs, baby. Like, what the hell is that? Right. DO. Yeah, yeah. SDO. LDO. Collateralized debt obligation. Yeah. You'll make so much money. Right. Financialization is killing us, man. It really is. Yeah. Yeah. I sometimes feel like we're gamblers, but I get your point. Right, 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 right. Yeah. You know, the only thing I like about these prediction markets is the fact that certain information gets outed that wouldn't otherwise. That's all. That's the only thing I like. So, like, hey, Trump's got a 99% chance of winning. Well, all of a sudden you've got the founder of Polymarket with the FBI at his door the next day. You know, like, we don't like that part because somebody knew something and bet on it and tilted the market. So that's the only thing I like about it. But other than that, I'm totally in agreement with you. Like, it helps expose things that otherwise wouldn't come to light. But other than that, I think it's a terrible thing. Sure. Right. Ah, yeah. He didn't know how to, yeah. Right. Maybe don't have him as a client at that point. Yeah. Yeah. There's no normal person would have been out of prison. No, no, they're nasty. So I love the fact that the monarchy in Britain preemptively took care of Prince Andrew. Like, they're like, get that guy uh, out of the monarchy because that guy's gonna kill us all. Right, but not here. Yep, yep, yeah. I think it's a matter of time. I think all these guys know their numbers up. They're just trying to delay the inevitable to some degree. And I think it's coming. I think for the first time in a while, there's hope. Nope, politicized to the max. Yeah. How did that happen? How did he even? Yeah. Why in the world did Congress? Yeah. 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 You mean like an impartial jury in a courtroom? I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah. They don't have any ties to any of these people. Yeah. It'll happen. Yeah. No, they were in the wrong room at the wrong time. Yeah. Right. Right. Or far less. Yeah. No. He had His approval ratings were massive. Like he would have been reelected for sure. Not even a question. Right. He had some shame. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Facing zero consequences. Yeah. At least for now. You got to go. No, no. Culture is I'm going to stand up for myself and fight the machine. Neil, bro, you are the machine. Yeah. 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 Right. In theory, they should have moved the other way. Yeah. Right. Yeah. What's crazy is if he had never left the entertainment space, like if he had just stayed an entertainment magnet, kept the personal brand thing going, none of this would have happened. He chose to go into politics. Yeah. Yeah. True. That's true. Yeah. Not that long ago. Right. Right. I think the reason that it hasn't come out until now is because I think Epstein was probably not just a Mossad asset. I think the CIA also was involved, and they're embarrassed. Yeah, to have their like this is Kennedy all over again. Right. This is Kennedy's assassination all over again. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's not that long ago. Right. 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 Did you see that headline about Tulsi Gabbard? I'm very intrigued on what that is. All I can think is she's owned by somebody. Yeah. If she's owned, like, how do you properly, yeah, manage that? Like, how do you inform Congress? How do you, like, yeah, that's the only thing I can think that makes any sense is she's owned. hmm Just clean house. Clean house. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Those guys are heroes. Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're like hyper libertarian, not beholden to anybody types. Yeah. Yep. 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 This has been a great CPG podcast episode, you know? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep. Been a good episode. That'd be cool. That's right. We'll talk about boozy bacon. See ya. Right. Yeah. Whoever. See you guys. Peace.